So we had the triads that have 3 notes, and now we add the 4th note, and that of course is the 7th. So let's look at some of the common voicings that we use for major 7, minor 7, and minor 7 flat 5, which are the 3 types of chords that we first find in major tonalities. So that's C major 7, if you want to do it with open strings, is right there. You always want to make sure that you have different positions for your chords where you have the root on the 5th string and the root on the 6th string. So if you know C major 7 here, you also need this one here. Of course, you can also have the one with the root on the 4th string, which will be right there. But at the beginning, at least you need these 2. But at the beginning, you really need these 2. And then you can expand to the ones with the root on the 4th string. So that's your major 7. Let's look at this type of chords all from the same root in a parallel way. Parallel meaning it's all C. C major, C minor 7 flat 5. C major 7, see? C major 7, C7, C minor 7 flat 5. Now remember, the chord symbols for these are gonna be C major 7, then C M7, then this one C M7 flat 5, and sometimes you're gonna see this one, a lot of times you're gonna see this one as with a circle and a line known as half diminished. That's because the diminished chord actually has a diminished 7, and this is not technically a diminished 7 interval between C and B flat. What is he talking about? You're thinking now, oh, I'm talking about stuff that if you really want to get into, you need to check out my theory course. So let's continue with the shapes and the positions of the chords. We have the major 7 here and there. You also have it there. Why not? Let's just look at 3 positions. Here's another position, you know, with the open string. Of course, if it was an F, there wouldn't be an open string. If you translate all that for a major 7, you have your F major 7 right here. So we have C major 7, another C major 7. These are just some of the most common shapes that we use, right? But there are other ways of playing the chords, but we want to start with these ones. Make sure that you have these ones so that we can start working on the styles of jazz accompaniment. Now the minor 7, right? A minor 7, it all comes from that shape. We take that shape and we like transpose it, we end up with that. And this one with the root on the 6th string. Think about it, this is just a bar and you're playing strings 6, 4, 3, and 2, right? But for me, it's more comfortable to play like that. A lot of people play like that because later you can use the pinky to add a note to it, for example, which is kind of cool sometimes. C minor 7 again, and then C minor 7 here. Some people play it here at the beginning. Some Brazilians play like this, you know, when they play things like... And we have C minor 7 with the root on the 4th string, if you want, right here. A lot of people do it like that. I remember when they first showed me that chord, it was so hard for me to get the finger like that. So what you can do is you can, well, of course you can try it until you get it right, but if it's uncomfortable at the beginning, you don't want to avoid that shape just because of that. So you can do it like that with these 2 fingers like that. Let's say, for example, we want to play an F minor 7 here, a little lower than all the way up there, or E minor 7, like that. Kind of a cool, convenient shape because you can go to the minor 6 from there later, like. Nice position. So we have C minor 7, C minor 7, and C minor 7. We said at least roots on 5th and 6th, but also, you know, we have the one with the root on 4th. Now let's look at the dominant chords, you know. Jazz players call these cowboy chords. So this is a sound that is awesome, but sometimes it doesn't just melt well in the context of jazz. So jazz players are gonna play different versions for the dominant 7 chords. But right now, we're just looking at the positions. So let's just take a look at this chord nonetheless. You know, that will be your G7 with the root on the 6th string. And here will be the same chord, G7 with the root on the 5th string. and then G7 with the root on the 4th string. Look at this shape. That shape, it's like if this is a D7, if I take that shape there and put my root there on a G, right? That D7 shape all the way there, that's a G7. John Lennon used that shape a lot. Check out the song Get Back and you will see. Well, you will hear. G7, root on 6th, G7 root on 5th, G7 root on 4th string. Of course, G7 open strings. The same thing that we did with the triads, you want to do with these shapes. You want to be able to play a whole harmonized scale. So we're going to practice. Let me show you one version of it. Say that I'm in the key of G. So I know that in a major tonality, and if you don't, once again, you're going to have to check out my theory course, but in a major tonality, we have major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7. Let's just take those 4 chords. Like if we're in the key of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 3, and 2, and 1. Now let's go from, when we get to the 4, let's add the 5. So, we can go to that 5. It doesn't sound too much like jazz right now, but again, we're just reviewing the positions of the 4-note chords. You're going to see later that adding the 9th and all the other notes is going to make it sound more like jazz, but be patient, we're going to get there very soon. For now, just look at the shapes, major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7. Then you have, D7, you can play it there, E minor 7, F sharp minor 7, flat 5, and G. Let's look at these shapes again because we're going to use them for an exercise that we're going to practice next. So we have G major 7, A minor 7. Remember, you can just play a bar, or you can play it like that, or you can do it like that if that's comfortable for you. So we have the 1 G major 7, A minor 7 is the 2 chord, the second chord in the G major tonality. Then we have the 3 chord, then we have a C major 7, which you can play here, or you can play here if you want. Then we have the D7. Then we have an E minor 7. Then we have F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And I just realized I didn't give you 3 shapes for this chord, so let's go ahead and take a look at the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the root on the 5th string. We are right here. If we wanted that chord with the root on the 6th string, it will be right there. And a good opportunity for you to observe that this chord, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, is nothing more than an A minor triad with an F sharp on the bass. And you also, as a jazz guitarist, you want to start looking at how some complex chords have triads that are inside the structure of the chords, such as the case of this one. So let's go ahead and practice the G harmonized major scale using 4-note chords.